Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Uh, Doktor boleh dengar suara saya? You hear me?
Boleh, boleh. I can hear you.
Okay, good, good. I'm meeting. You want to start, Doktor?
All right.
Okay, we start first, then I admit the others. Okay.
Sure.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning to all our participants and also our speaker today. We have Dr. Chong Chow Min from Faculty of Agriculture. Thank you for joining us for another session of Putra Sarjana Seminar. Kak. Okay. Uh, eh, Thank you for joining us for another session of Sarjana Seminar this morning. So I think today is very useful topic. We have Dr. Chan Chao as our speaker on exploring notebook, which is I think very useful for our research and for our assignment for your study. And before we start the session, I would like to uh, briefly introduce our speaker for today. We have Dr. Chan Chao Min. Is a senior lecturer in the Department of Agriculture, Faculty of Agriculture, UPM. His research expertise encompasses fish immunology, aquatic animal health, aquaculture disease, vaccine development, probiotics, bacteriophage therapy, and antimicrobial resistance in aquaculture. And to date, Dr. Chow has authored more than 80 scientific publications which have garnered over 2,200 citations, reflecting his significant contribution to aquaculture research and aquatic animal health. His work focuses on developing innovative and sustainable strategies to enhance disease prevention, improve aquatic animal welfare, and promote the long-term sustainability of the aquaculture industry. Also, in addition, to his active involvement in research and postgraduate supervision, Dr. Chan Chao-Ming also served as a reviewer and also an editor for numerous international scientific journals. He is also a frequent speaker at academic conference, workshop, especially in AI, and professional seminar where he shares his expertise and insight on emerging trends and advancement in aquaculture research. We have a truly uh, well-experienced speaker today. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Chuan Chao Min. Doctor, to you, Doctor. Doctor, cannot hear you. Are you
Right.
muted? Okay. Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Arif. Thank you so much for the introductions and good morning, everyone. I'm Chong. I'm from Faculty of Agriculture and also from iAquas. And yeah, I would like to share with you AI Power Research Assistant exploring the Notebook LM. Uh, the title given to me is to introduce you Notebook LM. Maybe a lot of you have been using the Notebook LM, but hopefully by today's sharing, you have discovered some tips and use cases. So I'm going to divide my sharings into five sections. So the basics features is, I think, 99% of the users are familiar with, but we would like to give you more advanced tips and all the all the unfamiliar setting, or how to say, tips and tricks to enhance your research using Notebook LM. So without further ado, we go into basics features first. If you are already using Notebook LM, just take it as a recap. But let me introduce what is NotebookLM for those that haven't used before. NotebookLM is a AI-powered research assistant. It is actually to synthesize and analyze information using the source that you uploaded to them. So let's say you upload all the fish journals, and then suddenly you ask about, let's say, amphibian. Then they will say that the source, based on the source you uploaded, they do not have this information. So that is very good thing because they do not hallucinate. Certain AI tools, they in order to please you as a user, as a consumer, they will try to hallucinate something for you. However, NotebookLM, they're using LearnLM of Google to minimize this issue. So we're going to demo to you later more on these unique features. And then
Kali saya
on
baca
top,
namanya, kok ni ada pula dia kata. Bila kau cakap kata situasi
sorry, someone's Arif, help me to mute.
Yes, I already made.
Thanks. So let's brief you. If you are postgraduate student or final year project student, you have access to NotebookLM Enterprise through a platform called Siswa.ai. If you are permanent staff in UPM, you get Gemini Pro at the same time NotebookLM Pro. So just because I see the list, some of my student, co-supervised student, and also some of the previous intern student also here, and also I see some colleagues names here, just to let you know that if you are lecturers, you have to use NotebookLM Pro that is subscribed for you by KPT. And if you are postgraduate students or final year project students, you're going to use NotebookLM Enterprise through Siswa AI. I will brief you more details later. And lucky enough, we are one of the top allocations in terms of number of notebook LM's enterprise account given by KPT. We have been given 7,680 notebook LM enterprise for students, but it's still not a lot, taking account how many undergrad, diploma, and also postgraduate student we have with UPM. So somehow the discussion with KPT and also the task forces of the Google education, we decided that if you are inactive, we will withdraw your account and then give it to some other students. So it's not that you go key in Notebook LM and then you go into Notebook LM normal portal and then you log in with UPM account. That means you are using Notebook LM Enterprise. No. For student, for postgraduate and undergrad FYP student, you have to go to this portal, siswa.ai. I will going to show you a moment later. And in this Siswa AI is where you can access your Notebook LM Enterprise. If you are lecturers or permanent staff of UPM, no, you cannot access Siswa AI. You have to use the normal way. You have to go to notebooklm.google.com, where from there you log in with your UPM account. So to clarify that, if you are postgraduate students and FYP student, go to siswa.ai. From there, you can log in and access your Notebook LM. And also in this Siswa AI, you can find a lot of tutorials, share use cases, example, and also webinars. Like for example, this month we have a webinar on literature review using Notebook LM that you can access the information through Siswa AI. But I'm going to show you a moment later. But maybe you have already used normal personal account Notebook LM and you ask me, Doctor, why I have to go to Siswa AI? I can just, Notebook LM is free for all the Gmail account. So why should I go to Siswa AI and then access a Notebook LM Enterprise? For your information, the version that you use will be completely not completely, slightly different. Where I would like to bring your attention here, you can upload 300 sources That is a super powerful AI resistant database. If you manage to upload 300 sources into one notebook, it will be like very powerful. And on top of that, they embrace Excel. I'm going to share you in the very, very last sections how you're going to upload your Excel of your data to help you to enhance your research. And where the others one, you need to get around it if you want to use Excel. And also, I would like to bring your attention to this no more models trainings here. What is model training? That means, let's say you have your data of your experiment, you haven't published them yet, or you have some brilliant ideas, you want to see whether the ideas can fill up the gaps of certain fields. So those are the input you put to the NotebookLM. If you are using your personal Gmail NotebookLM, it is actually you agree for them to use your ideas, your data for model training. So please, if you are permanent staff of UPM using UPM account, if you are a postgraduate student or final year project student, please use your student account through siswa.ai. Okay, it is not for model trainings, right? So as I mentioned, data integrity is very important. Your idea, your data is your intellectual properties. So be 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 cautious with that. Be uh be careful with what tools you use. I know today the title given to me is Notebook LM. However, I want to take this opportunity to share with you something. I know a lot of us are using, let's say, certain popular AI platform, for example, ChatGPT. Before I tell you about Notebook LM, I would like to share awareness with you. I want you to go to your ChatGPT under your name or at your lower left. Again, I repeat, under your name at your lower left, and then under setting, and you will have this windows pop up, and then under on the left there's this setting pane there. They will have this subsetting for data control. Click on the data control. You can see that improve the model for everyone is defaultly on. That means whatever you have chat with your ChatGPT, your ideas, your data have been shared. So I would like to take this opportunity. I know in many workshop and seminar I conducted, I always chip in this awareness. I really want you to tell your friends, to tell your supervisor, or to tell your student, please turn it off. So you go there, there's a blue color tick. When you have this blue color ticks on, means you are sharing your data to everyone. I would like you to toggle them off. If you are free account, you turn it off, it will take about maybe 10 seconds. Just be patient until the lights go off. That means you off the setting. Then now you are no longer improve the model for everyone, and please restart your chat. Okay. And if you are using free account, every time you're logging in, it may have risk that it will auto turn on for you. Please turn it off. Okay. Especially if you are lectures, you want to check other student thesis using ChatGPT to assist you, they may not publish yet. So please toggle it off. Thank you. So let's back to Notebook LM. Yeah, I that is some awareness campaign I would like to introduce you, and I think it's a serious issue, and I want you to compare to your friends. Let's back to Notebook LM. So for Notebook LM, it is actually secure. if you're using UPM student email through Siswa AI. So the Siswa AI portal is something like this, where you have to select your university and key in your student ID, which I will show you later. And then it is a smart research tools, and then also is very good to organize your informations and then also boost your learnings and productivities. So like to show you the demo. So over here, the demo here, you go to your browser and key in siswa.ai. It will bring you to this landing page. On the right here, there's a selections of university. Go and find UPM. And under here, there's two options. Student UPM, student.upm.edu.my. That will be most of the postgraduate and FYP. Or upm.edu.my. Those will be for AI champions. For your information, each faculty we have allocated two AI champion to help to address anything that related to Siswa AI NotebookLM. If you are researcher, you do not need to go to siswa.ai. Okay, you have to go to pendidik.ai for webinar, but siswa.ai is exclusive for students and Google AI champions. So in your case, if you are final year project or postgraduate, go there and then key in your student ID there. So here, sorry, sorry, someone say something.
No, I think I don't need. Yeah, I already need.
All right. Okay, maybe she doesn't have the access. In that case, you have to contact your TD office. Your account may be withdraw because of inactivity, or there's a missing. Your ID is not being keyed there. But by right, all the final year project and postgraduate will have the access. So from here, you can key in, let's say your email's address. In this case, I just simply GS1234. So upon you log them in, they may have some validation ask you to do whether you want to authorize them. Sorry. So here, upon loading in, you'll get to a NotebookLM normal interface. But this interface is accessed through Siswa AI. So instead of notebooklm.google.com, is notebooklm.cloud.google.com. That means it's actually enterprise for you. And on the right side, you can see some icon of enterprise that is showing you that your account is secure. Your accounts can upload 300 sources per notebook. If you haven't already created any notebook, in this case, I have created two notebooks. So you can see that two of my notebook display in this gallery. If you haven't, they will just jump straight to creating a new notebook for you. If you have already created previous notebook, you can also choose to create manually, create a new notebook. So in this case, it will jump like this to ask you what kind of material or sources you would like to upload on to this particular notebook here. So you can upload Google document, Google slide, website, YouTube, even your copy text, right? So on the other hand, you can upload manually your PDF, text, Markdown, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. Excel is something very special for enterprise. You can upload your Excel, especially if you already started to doing your experiment, you have data, you want to harness the power of AI to help for your data interpretations or comparison. Later, I will brief you at the final sections on that. And also MP3 means let's say you have discussion with your supervisors. Some of you tend to record audio recording it so that you can refer back to it. Please also create one notebook for your progress and planning. You can upload all the all the audios to it. Let's say your supervisor say, hey, when I ask you to do this, and you have to refer back to the audio, you do not know when and in which timestamp, yeah, you can do that. You can ask NotebookLM, hey, have we ever come to an agreement on certain things? Then they will tell you, yeah, based on which audio, and then they even will transcribe to you. Even the audios are a mixed language between Bahasa Malaysia and also English. Doesn't matter, you will transcribe for you automatically. And for international students, you may have issues of certain, you may have language barrier. Yeah, you can audio record it, lectures or discussion, and upload into NotebookLM. It will transcribe for you as well. But yeah, in this case, I'm going to show you example of basic features. If your account is not active, for us, how do we define you are active? That means every month you have to achieve 4 type of activity. Otherwise, you will be withdraw. I mean your account. So for those final year project, I know that this is the very last week of academic weeks, and then after that we have revision weeks, and then after that we have final year project. Sorry, we have final examination and then final assessment. Then you back to your hometown or you start your final year project. But please make sure your monthly achieving your 4 activity is whether you create a new notebook, share your notebook to any enterprise account of UPM, let's say colleague, friends to friends, landmate to landmate, add a notes, ask any chat, ask the initiate any conversation or chat with the AI, adding data sources or generate audio, all these consider activities. Doesn't mean you need to fulfill 4 type of activity. You just need to fulfill 4 times, not 4 times. Say you can chat 4 times in the conversation, in the conversation chat pan. That means number 4, you do 4 times. Yeah, you are considered active also. But I'm going to demo with you. Just that I realized when I toggle on the audio, suddenly my mic is mute. So I will share until the moment there's audio. I will stop sharing and I will mute myself. I will share the audio versions. But let me brief you later. Oh, don't worry. I'm going to give you the demo just to let you know. This is the notebook that you see from my Seesaw AI. I have a mucosa fish vaccines notebooks, and that is what you can expect. I'm already upload many sources there, and you have 3 interfaces, 3 pen, sources pen, chat, and studio interfaces. So all these are the pen, and then the studios you have functions audio, slide deck, info, video, mind map, and report. Maybe you wonder why is there very limited compared to the personal. I will let you know why later. That you can generate audio, you can generate mind map, you can generate infographics, slide deck, report. However, due to debate and discussion, the report that you can generate is only briefing document, study guide, frequent asked questions, and timeline. If you are using pro account, you even your personal account, you can generate like meeting minutes. You can generate a lot of summary report and so on. But give and text. The personal account, they will use your data for training. For Seesaw AI, they have these 4 functions only. But do not worry. We always getting input and then negotiate with Google, and then Google will actually give more features. For example, infographic is missing if you during January and February time. After intense workshop we have given, and then we give all the feedback to the Google. We say that infographic are so important for students, and then they included it. Please make sure our UPM account, your accounts are active, so we have the bargains power. We can request them certain features, right? So without further ado, let me show you the demo. So what you have to go here is create a new notebook. Again, they will pop up this add sources windows. From here, you can, like as I mentioned, you can upload a variety of file. In my case, I choose file and then I upload the journals. So let's say I would like to do something on antimicrobial peptides. So I upload the document here. Remember, the more you upload, the better is the outcome. And like for example, I only have six document here on antimicrobial peptide, and I don't think that's enough for me. So what I have to do here is I go to the add icon here or discover icon. For your information, if you're using Pro account, these two icons are very different. But if you are using Seesaw AI, they are the same. So if you go to add and discover, either one is okay. Then it will give you a discover sources windows. From here, they will ask you what are you interested in. If you are using personal account, you will realize that there's a fast research and deep research function. However, for Seesaw.ai, they do not have that function. I have already I I have already issued this concern in to the Awantech Google and also to the Google Education. Hopefully they will include that in. But let's say they maybe for few months they will not update this feature. What should we do? I'll give you a tips and tricks. It's a small. You just need to change your prompts. I'll teach you later, but we keep that aside. We keep that as section 2. Let me finish basic features first. If you see here, there's a button of I'm feeling curious. Do not click on it. This doesn't give you anything related to your topics. Like for example, in my case, I want antimicrobial peptides related journals. If I click I'm feeling curious, he will randomly keep me curious. He'll give me anything like how to cook the nasi lemak or whatever unrelated thing. Please do not click I'm feeling curious. Okay. So in this case, I want antimicrobial peptide. I have me myself uh in my own corrections. I only have maybe 6 papers. So now I want to harness the AI discover sources features. Oops. So here, what I type here is I would like you to screenshot this prompt. Scopus Index Scholarly works on antimicrobial peptides to be used in aquaculture, livestock, and humans. Okay, bear with my English, but if you're using natural language, they will understand you. These are the one of the very good prompts you can use. But I will go more details in section 2 on the prompts. But in this case, I'm still telling you basic features. So what so far you can create your notebook, upload your documents, and then add more documents by harness the discover sources, type in Scopus Index papers or scholarly works on antimicrobial peptides and submit. Then they will give you more source. Every time in your version, they will only give you 10. Don't worry, you can keep asking them, like you can narrow down them scholarly on mechanisms of AMP. And you can also validate all the documents here. After that, wait for the document to be loaded in and check if there is any missing or failly upload documents. It will indicate in red color. In my case, I don't have any issues. So then I can proceed. I can proceed to generate the artifacts on the right. Artifacts refer to multi-dimensional representation here, whether you want a podcast, slide decks, infographics, video, mind map, or report. So those are the basics features. So on the right interface here, we call Studio Pen. Studio Pen here, you can have these artifacts, to be generated to enhance your understanding. On the settings and the middle here, you have the chat interface where you can ask them questions. So, but you can realize that there's a more options, 3 dot icon next to all the artifacts, not all, some of the artifacts, for example, audio, slide decks, and infographics. So the slide decks, you can see that's a customized function. Audio, you also have a customized function here. So for audios, you can actually type in, like, for example, you want to say, I would like them to focus on mechanism, definitions, principles, classifications. So tell them what you want. You want to listen to the podcast, you be specific. If you not being specific, they will give you overviews. But you have, let's say you have like 300 sources here, you may want, it will get diluted, so you can actually customize the audio. Once you create, you can see there's a buffering icon, and then immediately followed by the lower pane here, there's a generating audio overview indications. Okay, wait for it. Slide decks also doing the same. Slide decks you can customize. So I'm like doing this video this morning, I was thinking like, what if I customize it? I want it to be a Shinchan, anime Shinchan. I want a Shinchan styles PowerPoint. So the prompt I given to it is like, can you give me a Shinchan anime manga style? Okay, I spelled wrongly the manga. Yeah, I will correct it later. So I want a Shinchan PowerPoint on antimicrobial peptides, right? And I want to focus on what? I want to focusing on, again, definition. Maybe I want to scaffolding. Scaffoldings differ to from easy and then gradually become more difficult and more deeper. I don't want like at the beginning it getting too difficult, then people will, I want, like, let's say I want to have this slide for my personal use. I want to like go easy first, and then after that go deeper when the slide when we advance the slide. Okay, so from here I want MP principles, chronologies, that means the timeline, mechanism, and comparisons. So I generate it. So let's see what it give me. Okay, hold on. Yeah. So yeah, this is the outcome. So I think it's pretty good, and it's very fun. And if getting deeper every slide it goes, but it give me a pictures overviews on what on MP. Yeah, I know there's a copyright issue too, so don't share it in your social media or what. But that is for your personal use. I think that is very good enough already. Use your own creativities. Okay. So you can ask them to generalize certain slide, and then you can actually uh you can actually uh get a very good result. Say you want watercolors, you want realistic, hyper realistic image, just go to the customize three dot there, and then customize that. Okay, so I would like to welcome any questions along the way, and then if I if I'm going too fast, you let me know. Otherwise, I will just continue here, and maybe Alif can help me to read out if there's a questions. Okay.
We have some question in the chat box, Doctor.
Okay, let me
You want
go
to open the chat box or you want me to read for you?
Okay, let me see. Okay, we have a copy of the prompts. Can the slide editable? Yeah, the slide is not editable if you're using enterprise. I don't think it's editable in enterprise. Personal, yes. Let me see. Siswa.ai. Let me check here. I don't think it's editable if you're using the account, because it's meant for you to understand. It's meant for you to understand. It's not for you to present in any Viva or what. Okay. But you can actually download it. Let me see. Okay. I stopped sharing for a while to address this question. I think I share the live one. So this is my Siswa.ai version. So say I have this slide. When usually there's a small pen icon here for me to edit the slide. Okay. I show you another examples. If you're using Pro account, you have a pen icon to edit them. So yeah, there's a limitation for this enterprise because this particular account is for us to let you learn more. We want the student to learn more, so that's why they disable many functions. So let me share. If you are using Pro account, you can see that okay, this is hyper realistic prompt. You can use that for your slide. I think it's really good quality. Here there's a device icon that, let's say I want to change the frog to let's say I want to change the frog to the top. Then you just type here. Let's say I realize there's issues of maybe the maybe I want certain structures like beta sheets, and instead of alpha helix, I just write there. They will change for me. Just type here and then generate device. But that is not for our enterprise account. So sorry there. But don't worry. It's not for you to generate the image for Viva or what. Okay. So let me see any more questions. Okay, yeah. All right. I think I can continue. I show continues. Right. Yes. And you can also generate infographics. In this case, you can just type there square, like in this case, I want a square infographics. I want it to be scientific, and I want the information density to be high. Means like when you create high information density, it will give you very intense infographic. If you want some breathable means some space of aesthetics, some when I present last time in a scientific conference competition in Netherlands, I often listen to the comments of the panel saying that I want your slide to breathable. I want your poster to breathable, means there's a rooms of there's a white, don't too intense and distracting. So it depends on what infographic you are using here. So in this case, I click high. I'm okay if I'm not going to for any competition or what. So all this you can do. Even video you can customize them. You want a Shinchan videos targeting on what? Please let them know. Otherwise, you can just no need to do anything just by default, and depends on the randomness. Okay. Mind map is you can create them. They will summarize everything. Report only, however, briefing documents, study guides, FAQs, and timeline, as I mentioned. So I create each of them. Yeah, that's a limitation, but the prompt it is meant to assist your research. It's not meant for you to use that to Arif, can you hear the audio just now?
No.
Tak ada.
No, tak ada.
No. Tak ada audio, tak apa. So yeah, if you create audio overview, it will give you audio overview. But don't worry, I'm not going to play the audio overview yet, because if I play it, I will auto mute somehow. So I will keep the audio in another section where I will play the audio and then I will stop sharing and then share again the version without audio so that I can use my mic. But just for your information here, you can actually generate all these documents. These are the basics functions. So all the documents here, like for example, this is the briefing document. You will have all the question and answer, tell you what is the basics. And I would like to let you know the limitation here. If you're using Siswa.ai, you cannot download them. They don't want you to use it for your assignment, but you can copy them. You can copy the document by highlighting them. Yeah, yes, that's extra job for you to do. Alternatively, like you can convert them to source. When you convert them to source, you will add that to the left side. Okay. I understand AI, there are many limitations, but they also give you a very powerful features in returns. The starting point is still the same. Enhance your research, worry that you're using them as a lazy tools. Okay, these are the infographic. I think the prompt I give to them, I think it's pretty good because you see that the macrophage immune modulation, I'm quite happy with it. Yeah, I think it's very one to one ratio. I think is quite nice. You can download them into your computer, and the video also. Because I didn't customize anything, I just use the default one. So you give you this generic one, generic version. It will be audio, but because I didn't share audio, so you can't hear here. But the good thing is they are quite in they are quite customizable, and then you can download them by click on this three icon and then download as mp3. Okay, and I believe you go on TikTok, you see many videos generated by NotebookLM. So they have some certain patterns that you see, you know, it's NotebookLM, and even they have the NotebookLM mark there. But yeah, that is about the basic features. Basic features you can get most in the YouTube video, even in Siswa.ai, there's a tutorial. I want to go beyond that. I want to give you more tips there because I'm not going to spend the webinar 2 hours to tell you the basic feature. I want to give you advanced tips. Now, as you know, the Siswa AI Notebook LM is they cut off a lot of features because they're also getting feedback from supervisors, lectures. They were using it as a lazy tools. So some features they filter it off. But they do have some powerful features that I'm going to share with you. So one of them is information gathering. As I shared with you just now, we have this discover source. The thing is, they will suggest related paper, and you have to do manual verification whether they are relevant or not. You do the final checking. Like some of you want to write high quality review paper, you do not want certain journals to be in. You think that journals are like low quality, you can filter them off. Okay, then yeah, just now I show you the prompt Scopus index scholarly works on oral immunotolerant in fish or on antimicrobial peptide. Now, let's say you did not put that in. You just like, for example, you go to discover sources and then you just type normally like, I want a research on oral immunotolerance in fish. Okay, don't create the I'm feeling curious. Yeah, you go to type, let's say, research on like I type very general research on oral immunotolerant in fish. I did not put scholarly works. I do not put Scopus index scholarly works. So what would be the difference here? So once you submitted, you realize that they give you depository of certain university, in this case, Wageningen University, which is quite okay. But you can see that they also give you YouTube video. So yeah, YouTube video here. If I want to write review, I'm not going to include that. You see, what is your prompt you give to discover sources, it matters. If you just tell them, I want a research on autoimmune tolerance in fish, it will give you broad posts, give you some popular like writings, newspaper, and also YouTube. Depends on the natures of your research. Maybe some of you really need that. Go ahead. Do not write corpus index scholarly works. Okay. So now, say you want to learn some topics. You are not writing any review. Let's say you want to learn principal component analysis, or you want to learn about certain statistics or certain tools. Do you know the YouTube is one of the biggest sharings on knowledge? They have a lot of good tutorials on let's say just now I mentioned PCA, principal component analysis. In that case, you just want to grasp You want to enhance your understanding on certain topic, go ahead. You do not need to write scholarly works on what. You just type that topic in. They will give you a lot of YouTube links. Yeah, you can import them in. But if today you are writing your chapter 2 literature review, or you're writing a literature review paper, then you have to filter that out. Okay, so from here you can just tick or untick the source that you do not want, and then you put them in. So again, double check. If let's say there's a fairly uploaded file, they will indicate you in different color. So that is where when you need to remove them. So you need to be patient, let them load. Do not ask any question or generate audio or any output here yet. Just wait it to load it. The loading finish, you can see that there's one indication, the red colors highlighted in this particular journal. That means they may have some setting to prevent import, or they may have subscription fee. So in that case, you need to go to click the three dot icon and then click on remove sources. So remove sources, it will pop, you'll have this pop up telling you, are you sure you want to delete? Please delete. Do not contains and the quality of sources affect the quality of the output. So if you have failure, you just remove them. So I want to highlight to you that the advantage of NotebookLM at the same time is also their limitation is their source bound. That means they only based on the document you put into the source pane, the sources interface. So if you put bias or limited sources, the output will also be limited. So garbage in and garbage out. Advantage is source bound, it won't hallucinate. The disadvantage and limitation at the same time is because it's a closed system, the quality, like let's say you put very biased thing inside your source, the output also will very biased. It's not really neutral or objective. Okay. So yeah, to overcome that, the tips that I already shared with you is to put Scopus Index Scholarly Works. In this case, let's say I'm a fish immunologist here. Let's say I want to do studies on oral immunotolerance in fish. Right there, Scopus Index Scholarly works on oral immunotolerance. If you are using ISB circulating aquaculture systems, oxygen efficiency, right there, Scopus Index Scholarly works. That will filter the YouTube, the blogs, the non-scholarly contents. It will focus on peer-reviewed journals. Okay, so I think that is a very powerful prompts. Hopefully you can screenshot this prompt. So just now I put research on the oral immunotolerance, right? So let's say now I put scholarly Scopus Index Scholarly lengthy works. Scopus Index Scholarly works on oral immunotolerance in fish. Right. Yeah, paper or scholarly works is okay. Just let them put them in. You can see that they will filter off all the YouTube. It takes a while and then you give you all the papers. Okay, some of them you can actually click on this expand icon to validate whether the paper is okay or not. So when you click on this expansion icon, you open that papers in the second tab, another tab, and then you can read through whether you want this paper to be in or not. If you want, you just keep them ticked. If you do not want, you untick them. Okay, sometimes they will also post on ResearchGate and also SciSpace where people upload their document in. So please validate whether is there already, follow the DOI, is there already a Scopus Index journals? And then let them log again. Just be patient. Don't ask anything. Don't create any audio, video, or infographic now. Just wait until it finished. Upload. Wait for any red highlight sources where that is where you want to remove. So wait, in this case, yeah, this is the source. that fail to upload, just remove them and then delete them. So can you see the difference just now? Just research on autoimmune tolerance. There's YouTube, there's blogs, you know. But if you just type scholarly work, it will improve. But every time it will give you about a dozen or less than dozens. So another tip I want to share with you is 10 journals enough for your lead review or for you to understand something? The answer is no. So these are the second tips I want to share with you. Do you know that NotebookLM Enterprise, there's a feature called Analysts. These analysts are super good. It will make very, very different. Analytics later, research gap identification trend or hidden patterns and so on. You can use this analyst. So without further ado, let me show you the where you can get it. So let's say you have these 10 documents here, but you're not happy with it, right? So first thing first, what you want to focus. So another tip I share with you. Let's say I want to focus on immunotolerance in fish. Please define the name here. Do not let them auto-suggest for you. See, once they auto-suggest for you, they will suggest ancient mucosal surface and gut-like immunity. That's not what I want. I know a lot of them, when they're doing oral immunotolerant, a lot of the paper, they will mention about mucosal surfaces, they will mention about gut-associated lymphoid tissue or immunity. I don't want that. So define your own topics at the title here by clicking in this bar. Once you're done, I want you to go to the right side here. There's a slider icon. Slider icon is where you can get the analysis to be toggled on. Default is the conversational style is default. Default is normal, like straightforward dialect. You ask question, they answer. Please toggle them analyst. Okay, toggle to analyst and then choose your response length. You can just keep it default. If you want longer length, you can create longer. In this case, I just keep it default. So you save the setting. Remember to save. And then after that, you ask the tips. Number 3 that I want to share with you is, I want you to ask that, what are the missing research gaps? What are the research gaps? I think it's redundant. What are the research gap or missing areas in the study derived from all these sources, and especially pertaining to oral immunotolerance? And then can you, my prompt here is, hold on, my prompt here is, what research work should we include to provide a comprehensive insight on fish oral immunotolerance? Yeah, that's the prompt I give to the analyst. So now you analyze, then he study. Analyst features on, it will suggest to you. Okay, it will take a while. It load. As your thought partners, I understand your goal is to understand the information quickly to make a strategic recommendation. You are asking about missing research gap. So after that, they will study. They realize that there are several critical areas about immunotolerance which make them incomplete. First, mechanism of oral. They will tell you all this, like tolerant genic properties of feed carriers. All those, right? Copy one by one. I want mechanism of oral tolerance is missing in my source, right? Copy them. Now go back to the discover source, type here, corpus in the scholarly works, and then paste mechanism of oral tolerance in finfish. Then they will also give you about a dozen or less, about usually 10. Sometimes you get like lucky, you get more. And then they'll give you this. And after that, you copy another one. Let's say, what is the gap here? What is the, when they analyze your source, they think that you do not have enough source for tolerogenic properties of the feed carriers that causing oral immunotolerance. Okay, let's copy them. So you just copy the next one and then go back to the discover there and then type corpus index Scopus Index scholarly works on genic properties of the feed carrier in fish. Do that. Because the good thing about NotebookLM Enterprise on Seesaw AI is 300 sources. Make them nicely, make using the tips that I share with you, name them first, and then use this keyword Scopus Index scholarly works. And then after that, turn on the analyst mode and then ask them what is the what after analyze these sources, what missing, and then import them one by one. Okay, right. I think that is the, before I move to another sections, I will stop for a while to check if there are any questions. Okay, so you cannot activate your notebook. Yeah, you have to, later I'll give you another slide, Siswa.ai. How do you go around it? So is the notebook RN can understand all language? Yeah, it can understand all language. Okay, not all, but let me see. Let me stop sharing to answer these questions. This one. Under here, the setting, there will be output language for you to change your the language. Okay, so these are the language that you can choose. There's a Bahasa, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, you can choose from here for you to defaultly change the settings. Okay, say you usually in the pro setting, you will have in the pro account, you have here to customize your language output. However, for enterprise, no, they do not have an option here. So you have to go to the parental setting here to change your output. Default, it will be English. You can change to Mandarin, Japanese, Malayu, and so on. Depends. Okay, let me move to another question. Does the enterprise take long to generate those infographic? Because mine is still generating based on 10 sources. Yes, it's long. If enterprise or pro is long. Okay. Depends on the internet also. Also depends on the type of prompt. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Do they have any other questions? My UPN ID is showing version plus, not enterprise. Yeah, because you are lectures, right? So your lectures, you are actually pro version. Enterprise, oh, sorry. Hold on now, I cannot read completely. My notebook I will with my UPN ID showing plus, not enterprise. Must I complete all tasks before because I'm an international postgrad student? You have to contact your TD office or your the Google champion in your faculty, which I will show you in the yeah, you have to go to Siswa.ai. You cannot go through NotebookLM normal portal. Any hallucination, they are hallucinations. Depends on the quality of source, but it really minimize. I can say, while reacting to good slide, bad slide button, I will good slide. Yes, they will know your preference. Okay, can we have the recording later? Okay, from your how much is too much cartoon because it come up professional. Yeah, that's right. You are not using the cartoon for international conference or presentation. The cartoon example I show to you is for the cartoon that I show to you is for your own understanding. Scaffolding. That's why I use scaffolding. I think I have to move on because it's less than 1 hour already and I have only covered half of my need. Yeah, I have to move on. Right. But I will come back to the question later. Let's move to guided learning. AI give you a hallucination, an illusion that you are competent because you get access easily to information. Do you understand that information access doesn't mean that you have the knowledge? Having access to all the perfect summarization and generalization is not equal to you understand the topics. You need to understand this learning thread. You need to have AI make you bypass the cognitive struggle when you want to grasp a new knowledge, but doesn't mean you understand that. So I would like to share with you some tips here. The trap here is they make you access to information easily and simple. You get very easy to summarize, answer, article, all the output, but it doesn't represent that the information not necessarily translate into your cognitive understandings on that topics and also your capability on that particular topics or skills. The reality is you have to now on one hand you have all the information ready. On the other hand, you have to internalize the knowledge. So here I would like to share with you 5 tips and also some demo before I go to information research gap, because I want to have awareness here. You have access, you ask question, you get the answer, you give to your supervisor, doesn't mean you understand that topic. When you are doing final year project or when you are doing, especially you are postgraduate, you must be the so-called expert in that field. So you cannot just rely on the answers of AI. So I would like to share with you some tips here. There's 5 tips here is using learning mode, payment methods, multi-dimensional collisions, and audio overviews and citation verifications. So what is this? So first you have to toggle on learning mode. So the guided mode is very important. By default, it is off. You need to on it. So again, go to the sliders. That is where you can change your conversational style. Default is like you ask them question, they answer you. It's not really any learnings. And learning may happen, but it's not really dialect. It just give you the answer. Doesn't mean you get access to the information. Doesn't mean you have internalized the knowledge. So please toggle the guide on. Just now, analyst mode we have mentioned already. So now I would like you to toggle back to toggle to another mode. I know there's a custom here. Custom is you can tell them that what you prefer. Like I want a PhD student. I want to understand. However, I want to understand. Like you can custom them. Tell me in secondary or primary school style, and then after that scaffolding into a deeper example as like difficult example as postgraduate. You can customize that. But let's say you do not know your preferred learning behavior style yet, you can just go to guide. So you just go to guide. Let me show you first if default, what happens, right? So default, you didn't change anything in the slider. Then you ask them a question. So the question I ask is, what is immunotolerance? You can see that immunotolerance is what definition, duration, and so on. Okay, good thing about them is citation. They'll give you citation. Means when you click them, they will refer you to which journal that you upload, and from there, that is to avoid hallucination. Okay, so all the answer they will cite back to your source. Okay, so you need to counter check whether they hallucinate or not. Some question in the chat they are asking about hallucinations, right? So yeah, very source bound. So source bounded commands make the NotebookLM minimize their hallucination. But if you can see here by default, it will just give you the answer. So now I clear the history. I want to compare to you if I turn the guide mode on. I am asking the same question. What is immunotolerant? So in this time, it will actually tell you as your guide to your knowledge base. I can help you understand immunotolerance. So first, there are several key points that you need to understand. Then after that, he will gradually tell you, and after that, ask you back the questions. Would you like me to as would you like to explore how oral tolerance specifically impacts the effectiveness? He will ask you a question. He ask you, do you want me to test you with quiz? I know a lot of you complain that doctor are using personal account. I can get access to quiz. I cannot. There's no quiz here, but if you toggle the guide mode on, they'll give you a quiz in the chat. So you see, they asked about how this impacts mucosa vaccine, and it guided me to learn more. Sometimes it will not answer you directly. You give you certain understanding first, and then ask you question back for you to understand. So it provides scaffolding. It guided you to learn more. So at the beginning, you have all the information ready here. Please make sure you understand them better. I do not want you like asking me like, can the slides used for professional setting? Yes, internalize first, understand the knowledge, and in the Siswa.ai, all the output is meant for you to learn, not for you to replace for certain thing. Yeah, you can customize the slide deck and then crop them. You can do that with the certain group prompt, but please promise me, understand first the topics. Then from here, you can say, would you like to explore any strategies in the materials of, it will guide you. It will not give you all the information at once. It will slowly explain to you, give you more examples, and then each example cited with the where from which part of your which journal, and at that particular journal, which part they extract the information, and then after that they will ask you, do you want to understand more? For example, I want to test my understanding, they will ask you question. Like for example, I want a quick quiz, so they will ask you here the questions. So they will let you choose like following statement which is best describe the impact of oral tolerance, then I have to answer. I know there's no so straightforward in by right here studio here there's a quiz or the another function for you to do the quiz, but in Siswa.ai you have to do it in the chat. Okay, but okay, because Monday activity you have to at least fulfill, let's say 4 chat. I think you can do that with guided learning. So the guide mode, how it works, instead of directly answer you question, you read and then you thought you understand. But with learning guide, it will actually ask you some question first, let you to think. Do you think this the strategy works? So instead of like immunoglobulin type IgT, the AI will say, what do you think the main difference between systemic and mucosa? It will guide you to understand. Next, the second tip I can give to you before we go delve into research method, we can actually use Feynman method. Feynman method is reverse engineer, means you already know the output, you ask them to identify is it a reverse learning flow. That means you read, you give them a material, you tell them what you understand. Okay, I understand what, and the NotebookLM will identify your misunderstanding. So I give you examples. So in this case, I toggle on analyst or guide. Okay, I think both okay. So from here, analysts, they will identify, they will do analysis and identify the gap. Guide is they won't give you all the answer. They will like mentoring you slowly. Okay. In this case, I on the guide. So my understanding, I thought AMP will not induce any microbial resistance in pathogens, because that is what I heard from many conference, many papers. They promote their products, say, oh, our product is AMP, it will not cause any antimicrobial resistance. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I asked them. So I asked what I understand. Okay, bear with my English. Yeah, you can correct them later. So AMP will not induce a. Sorry, I'm a fish immunologist, so I'm going to give you all these examples. But if you're social science, just bear with me. But you can ask the similar question there. So we say, hello, I can certainly understand help your understanding about AMP from the provided knowledge base. Think of me, your personal guide. Okay, based on the material, AMP generally less likely to induce. So they are become very neutral here. They wouldn't say that you are right. It wouldn't induce, but less likely. And then you tell you, here's why. And then after that, they will say is many one favors getting spotlight from researchers because they have a broad anti-market activity and that do not induce resistance. But after that, they also telling that you can also cite them to see which journals they mentioned about it. And then after that, they will casually support your view and then all this mini review and so on. Then after that, AMP do not typically change the recombination frequency in E. coli, so all this. And after that, they will tell you you may be wrong. What resistance is not absent; it's only is present, slower. That while resistance to AMP is substantially less frequent and slower, but it's not entirely absent. So we gradually, in Feynman method is you tell them what you understand first. So guide mode is to let them slowly guide you. Payment method is you tell them what you understand. So please do that. If I call you, if you register, let's say you register your PhD, let's say you are a PhD in microbiology. So we really hope you are the expert in microbiology. So you have to be the expert. Okay. Do not let people say that researcher is not good compared to AI. So you you have to do the understanding yourself. Okay. So yeah, let's back to how Feynman method works because it help you to identify your knowledge gap. So I thought the MB will not cause resistance, it may. Okay, and then it forces externalization because he'll force you to think and then AI analyze your overconfidentness and also they by interact like that instead of giving you answer directly you're being challenged and then you will have opportunity to internalize your knowledge. So you can also use like tell them this like use a simple language, be specific, embrace correction when they correct you wrong. Next, the third tip is will be multi-dimensional correlations. You need to put more sources there. You need to use slide, audios. You need to use multiple representation to understand the topic. And on your source, you can put more source there. For example, some papers telling you that fast fashion is do not work in tropical country. Some papers say yes. Don't avoid the one that not favor to your research. You need to embrace the collisions so that when you write your discussion, it will be more impactful, more critical. Okay, like for example, we used to have like professor a long time ago in my field, fish immunology, not fish immunology, immunology in general. We have Professor Menikov who believe that there's a phagocytosis, the cellular immune defense. On the other hand, maybe Professor Bachner, they think that there's no such thing called cellular immune defense. There's only humoral defense. So they have these two different school of thoughts and they challenge each other. They have all the paper criticize each other. But at the end, all this discovery leading to nowadays the knowledge base of immunology, we have both cellular and also humoral immune defense. So if you are a researcher, you have to be open-minded and scientific thinking. Embrace all these collisions. That's tips I need to give you. Put more multiple sources in by using the tip I shared earlier, and also do not avoid those unfavorable sources. And that's why you need to put like, let's say you're using AI commercialization, you can take a technical report from ChatGPT OpenAI's company, economic paper that criticize the AI bubble is going to burst soon. They are very skeptical about AI commercialization. You have all the case study and startup, successful startup, all of this. to synthesize your understanding. Do not avoid any sources. So, and audio will help you to understand. I'm going to share with you the audios. So I'm going to mute myself. I will stop sharing because when I share audios, I will have my mic muted. So in that case, I'm going to show you the audio. I will stop sharing and reshare again, but during the time I cannot speak. So, but just let you know what you're going to anticipate. In this case, I actually asked ChatGPT, sorry, I asked NotebookLM to generate audio, and then you can see that on the right side here, there's a hand wave icon. That is where you can interact with them. So I interact with the the podcast, and later you can see that when I click join, the podcast host, the AI host, will stop and say, "Oh, it is someone interrupting us. Yeah, what is your question?" And then after that, I will ask a question to the AI. Then the AI will answer. It's a long audio, but I want to show you that the AI, when they say something and then I join and give my feedback, he will not being interrupt like sometimes AI will forget what they said previously. The powerful features of this notebook LM is they will continue. They know what they're talking. There's a continuation there. So I'm going to stop and reshare, but you can't hear my mic. But after I share, I will go and revisit it later with my mic on. Okay, just bear with me.
So you sit down at a nice seafood restaurant, right? You look at the menu and you order a shrimp cocktail.
A classic choice.
Yeah, exactly. And usually when you think about where that shrimp actually comes from, you might picture, I don't know, open ocean trawlers hauling up these massive nets.
Right. Or maybe those expansive, muddy coastal ponds down in the tropics.
Exactly. You definitely don't picture a highly engineered, land-based, completely closed loop system where, one species' literal waste is meticulously transformed into another species' dinner.
Yeah, it sounds a bit like sci-fi when you put it that way.
It really does. But today we're unpacking a massive stack of recent aquaculture studies, specifically pilot scale research papers that show why that exact scenario isn't just science fiction at all. It is, well, it's basically the holy grail of sustainable mariculture. So welcome to your custom tailored deep dive.
Thanks for having me. And yeah, we are diving into some genuinely groundbreaking research today. We're focusing on something called integrated multi-trophic aquaculture.
Or IMTA, right, for short.
Exactly, IMTA. Specifically, we're looking at a closed circular ecosystem that pairs Pacific white shrimp, scientifically known as Lytopinaeus vanameae, with mild tilapia, or Oreochromis niloticus.
Got it.
It's just this fascinating look at how we can completely redesign food.
Oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
You're mentioning cultures white shrimps with tilapia, but most of the times the the tilapia is we often culture in freshwater system, and then the white shrimps are a marine species. Do 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 we need to train the tilapia, make it adapt to marine water?
That is an incredibly sharp observation. You've hit on the biggest technical hurdle right away.
Yeah, that's such a great point. How do they actually live in the same water together?
It's all about the amazing adaptability of these specific species. They both have a high salinity tolerance.
So even though tilapia are freshwater fish, they can handle the saltier water the shrimp need.
Exactly. That is a great question about how these marine conditions actually impact the growth rates.
Yeah, let's unpack this because the data on growth is actually pretty wild.
What's fascinating here is that being near other species often acts like a growth booster.
So
So you can see that I have actually interact with them to test my understanding. Good things about it is it will actually answer me. However, because the audio is quite long, I actually when they're mentioning about growth rate, I also ask them, how if you cultures different species of them in the entire system, it will affect the growth rate. Then after that, they were talking about, the seaweed will go better, streams will go healthier because the water quality improve. Then I jump in and say, what about tilapia? And I would like to share you this video. Yeah, actually, at the end, you will say that I like your question about what about, because it you have a comprehensive understanding on all the IMTA species, and then they compare the growth rate with the statistics reported in the journals. So I like the continuation. It's not like every time I ask question, he answer and then you not link back to the previous conversation. I think that is very good. So yeah, harness the audio features, make it is a memory reinforcement for you, what you understand virtually, what you understand from the chat, and also back up with auditory and also even visuals, because you can do videos and also you can do the infographic. Last and not least, the tips is before I move to another section on how to advance identify your research gap, I want to let you know, please always verify citations, because as many of you already mentioned in the group, you worry about hallucinations. Yeah, I think that is very important things. You need to validate the citations. So, and then the citation, when the AI give you answer, there's a citation bubble that you can create and then compare to the original text, that are very important. So overall, information access doesn't equal to understanding. You have to harness the guided learning mode, and then after that, let them expand slowly for you to understand the topics until you think you understand the topics, and then reverse learning process back, asking them what you understand. Let them identify your misunderstanding. And then along the process, you can use audios, visuals, all the multi-dimensional sources and multiple means of representation and engagements to enhance your understanding, and always in this entire process validate your citation. So now I'm going to move to AI assisted learning, literature reviews. Yeah, let's say now you want to do a literature reviews, whether or not you are doing your chapter 2 literature reviews, or you are doing a review paper. There's a 5 part that can help you. So each of them are slightly the same, but also there's a part of difference. First is conceptualizations, understand the whole context. So and after that, summarize understand the background, the review, the scope. If you are writing for your chapter 2 or you're writing for review paper, summarize what is the current understanding, like is the same. Summarize the teachers, okay, and then synthesize the current knowledge. Then after that, you identify the gap, contradiction, limitation, identify the gap, limitation, and then synthesize the finding, how your research address that. If you are doing for your thesis, for your review paper, you just propose what is the future direction, implication, and what's to be done. Okay, then after that, for your chapter 2s, you have to conclude the implications and future research direction even after your research. So let's start with literature reviews. I think a lot of you want to write chapter 2s or review paper, and you struggle with it. So you want to write critical thinking in literature reviews. Do not just summarize. Summarizations, you are not just summarize your literature reviews, you need to do comparison, compare the method, compare the sample size, compare the technique used, compare the theory, identify is there different school of thoughts, different contradicts, and why so? If they contradict, why? Are they using different sample size? Or maybe one is using Asian population, one is using Western population, or maybe they have, like, for example, they are using freshwater fish and another one is marine fish, or one maybe is Western climate, another one is tropical climates, and then which evidence is strong, which having sample size, larger sample size, more representative sample size, reproducibles, and why, and then synthesize the overall picture and what missing. So those are the very important things. So the first thing is to give a context. Context is, I want you to use this prompt, write a context on this literature on these topics. Arif can help me to mute. I think someone want to ask question. Right.
Noted.
Other help me to mute someone, I think.
Yes, already.
Right. Thank you. Right. And yeah, you can ask them why it matters, who is affected, and what is the stakes. So these are the normal prompts. But I like this hook problem, stakes, and solution. So the prompt I use, I think you can get from audio. The audio podcast, they usually will put a hook for you to listen more. So you generate more audio podcasts, you know what kind of example they given. You can use that to write your intro. But here you can see that what I do here, I toggle on analyst. I really like this mode. And then I want a longer answer. And from here, I say, what is the real world problem pertaining to AMP research, especially, I want any hook that attract policymakers attention to do this research, support by what it matters and the stat and evidence, and make it engaging and clear. So these are the prompt. I think you can screenshot this prompt. So after that, you give me very good things. First, you say that 4.9 million attributable, 4.9 million attributable death worldwide in 2019 due to AMR. And then after that, they support why it matters, right? And then support further, it stacks up. So you say that every year in United States alone, resistant bacteria cause about this such number annually. And then after that, they give all the implication. So I think this is the good beginning for your literature reviews. So you don't go and say fish immunology defined as immune studies, or no. You need to attract. You need to have a critical thinking, a reason, a context for people to understand why you want to write that particular literatures. Okay, so you can use that prompt. Then after that, after you already attract their attention, you need to let them know what's going on, the latest current state of knowledge. So you need to summarize. So summarize here, often you can group them into, do they have different thoughts, school of thoughts, in terms of, different method, design method. Like, let's say, some people prefer using this technique, another prefer another technique. Why? Can you group them? Is there any other teams pertaining to that topics like AMP? Maybe some are telling about the delivery methods, mechanism, and so on. Or do they have some, years ago people are using maybe certain techniques, and then after that now they move to maybe qPCR, microarray, and so on. That, like, the chronological categories, or do they agree on something, and then what they debate, what are the area of debate. So in this case, I still on the analyst, I want a longer response. So the question I ask is, summarize the current state of knowledge on AMP based on the upload resources, organized into the major teams. And for each teams, I must include key findings, area of consensus, area of debate, implications for future research, and also therapeutic development of AMP. So that you telling me there are major themes. So origins and diversity of AMP, some using human, frogs, farm animals, and so on. And then what they debate on. So now we are do not really clear about the general, the precise sequence of variation, meaning that two species may have the same peptide antibiotics, and then this make dialect generalizations very challenging, but also we give room for discovery. So yeah, you give me many teams. Another team will be and in this particular diversity of MP, the for future gap, I can do what kind of research. So those are the things you want to know. Why they debate about. Okay. So and then let's say structural characteristics of MP. So some will debate what. So what they have already come to come to agreement, come to consensus is what they already agree. They agree that a lot of them agree that AMP have amphipathic natures, and then after that, what they do not agree and implications. So those are the prompts that you can give them, but you can actually counter check the value, the counter check the citation whether it is as what it giving you, and then after that, this answer can derive to another critical thinking also. So I just post here. I'll tell you later. So you just remember what prompt I give. I asked them what already under what is the current state of what topics, and then what are the area of consensus. Categorize them into major themes, and then after that, what is the area of consensus, debate, and then what is the implications. And those are the prompts I give to them. After that, now you have to identify the research gap. You need to ask why. You need to understand why is there a contradiction. Why are why the debates going on, and then identify the unstudied context, notice the limitation, and then check generalizabilities. Okay, so you need to know if there's a debate, do they use different method, how did they design their research that causing the debate or the contradictions, and then how do you synthesize the best for you. When people think you do not have critical thinking, or you have critical thinking in your literature review, is despite all the differences you choose this theory because after you review everything, that show your critical thinking. Okay, so you have to demonstrate that in your chapter 2. So and synthesize the contradictions. Do not ignore contradictions. Say a lot of pieces saying that a lot of research say it works, but some research say no, it will induce oral immunotolerance. It works at first, and then after that, it will not work after that. So why do they disagree? Those are the contradiction that you need to deliver. So remember the prompt I gave earlier. So I copy the prompt, identify 3 to 5 research in what. So remember, I asked them to divide them into teams. So they divide into diversity of MP, structure characteristics of MP, right? Copy the structure characteristics of MP, and then copy to this prompt. Identify 3-5 research gap, contradiction happen on what, and then what are the contexts underrepresented. So you can copy the placeholder with the topics, the earlier prompts. From there, they'll give you more. You need to go deeper. You need to dive deep into each of the themes and then identify each of the research gap. Okay. So from here, they will start to, because I toggle the analyst mode on, you will start to tell me, based on this specific topic, structure characteristic, So the key finding reasoning is what, and then they will tell you each of the research gap, and then what is underrepresented. The contradiction happen is what people suggest and what people counter suggest and counterpoint, and then they will tell you their research design and so on. Okay, so overall, I have go through the basics features. I know it's a lot too overwhelming in 2 hours. I really want to deliver all this to you. So basics understandings, basics features of NotebookLM, and then after that, how to increase your source. Although there's no deep research of fast research in this, and after that, you can actually expand them using analyst function and also use correct prompt. And we move to information you get, all the source you get doesn't mean you understand. You need to harness 5 tips I share with you. Then back to identify the research gap. You can identify the research gap, what kind of prompt you can ask them, and then when you have contradictions, what they most of them in that field, what they agree and what they disagree, why they disagree, do they have differences in method. Last time, without AI, you need to read a lot and then you need to do a lot of summarization by your own, and you may misunderstand the essence of the papers. With AI, you will actually help you, but please also understand your field first. So define your research question clearly, and then get all the subscribe like library subscribe journals. Otherwise, you have to go through some free platform and then organize them, asking them to current state, and then categorize them into themes, methods, and chronology, and so on. And then after that, they analyze them using the tips I share with you and synthesize into lead review. Okay, now I'm moving to the very last sections. As I tell you, we have Excels. We can upload Excels. These are the big features of it. And yeah, we can do Excels. But yeah, we can upload Excels. So what? So you can actually use AI to interpret your data. You can upload your Excels, and then you need to identify the hidden trends, the hidden patterns, and then compare them with the scholarly works. In this case, I have some Raman spectra of 2 probiotics. So I upload the documents there, even without telling them what is the document about. And then they start to realize that there's a ratio in I involve 2 different missing ratio and classification accuracy. After that, I want to know that now this is a research for 2 different probiotic with surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy. Then you say, okay. So now I actually go to generate infographics and then generate some slides. So at the same time, I ask them, do you identify any hidden patterns? So any hidden trends? And then they say, yeah, I identify your hidden trends. So they'll tell you inverse relation between classification accuracy and so on. Sorry, I haven't published yet, so I have to go click about it. You will actually cite back to my citation. And then they analyze a lot of hidden trends that I may overlook. And for infographics, it'll give me very nice infographics. So it tell me that 100% accuracy in what? Three classes. 49 drop until how many? 15 classes. And those are the hidden trends and very nice graphic as well. And I can continue to ask questions. And after that, I can generate the slide. The slide, they give me a heat map, which I think is very good. Okay, they give me a diagonal prediction call and also all the representation. Again, please, as you need to apply human in the loop principle means you cannot use it as it is. You have to go and check whether it is okay or not. And then it's only help you to identify the hidden trends and the ways to represent your data, but do not use it blindly. You as a core expert, you have to make the decision whether to use some of them, to remove if they are wrong. You have to make the call. Another way is I give a data. So this one, I give a data of ultrasound vaccinations, and in unlike the previous one, the previous one, once I download it, I already asked them. I go ahead and ask them like the question on hidden trend and so on. Now this one, I don't want to ask about hidden trends. I put the data, experimental data about the ultrasound assisted vaccine, and then I harness the features of discover sources. I say I want a streptococcus. I want a streptococcus vaccines, but I tell them more. I want especially on they have to have relative percentage survival. I want to know immune gene because I put immune gene expression in. I want to compare them. So tell them what you want and then let them loaded all the document. Again, counter check if there's a red coloration. If there's a red coloration, and then you need to remove those failed documents. And now I want them to compare all the reported one because I want to use in my discussion. I want to compare the efficacy of the developed vaccines in the table formats. So they will do the table for me. So from here, from which paper, what is their efficacy, what is the gene expression, what method they use, and then they will compare to the document. They will treat my source, the data I have, as an independent source. They will compare them. So I realized that, okay, immersion sounds, they always, I mean, when you go and defend your thesis or when you want to submit your paper, they want you to compare to the current literatures. Please use these functions of NotebookLM Enterprise to compare that. It will really help you nicely. So you can also generate against the slide or infographics. And I want to know, after my research, compared to the current research, what vaccination is the best overall, and what are the limitations of that particular so-called best strategies. So they'll tell me the best one is still inactivated vaccine through IP, intraperitoneally injected, it still remain the highest, but the downside is too labor intensive, is too stressful, and so on. However, they will mention that, okay, other efficacy, for example, dual pulse ultrasound assisted immersion vaccines also. This one is my research. Then they say this is also quite good. So from here, that is where you need to highlight in your thesis. Yeah, the regulatory genes is good. The very strong RPS, although it's not as good as the injected one, but it's so good already because it's not stressful. The immune gene is okay. And then it reduces stress and easy mass administration. They give you citation of the previous literatures. So again, enterprise through CSI, they give you options to upload your data in Excel form, and they protect your data. Do not use your data in your personal NotebookLM. Use it in CSI. All right, it will help you a lot as your research assistant. So I further asked them a question: what is the pro and con if I use dual pulse ultrasound? So you start to analyze my data, and then they tell me the pro is high efficacy, robust, and then what is the con? Okay, you can see that they will tell you, and then I say, so these are the report. So you get the ideas, right? Before I end an open Q&A, let me wrap up. Common mistake to avoid is do not use NotebookLM as a lazy tool. It is not a lazy tool for you to summarize, copy, and then use the slide for professional presentation. You cannot trust them blindly. You need to counter check the citation and then make sure they are not hallucinate. And then you do not only upload the source that favors your hypothesis. You will create a confirmation bias. You will make use in Bahasa Melayu we call short sendiri. So please be neutral. Put more different thoughts, school of thoughts papers in, make it more comprehensive and in depth, more critical, insightful, and in depth. And your mistake if you do not critically evaluate the methods, why there's a contradiction, why they use this method, maybe there's a reason why they use this method, and then do not just stop at the information. You need to convert them to the true learning. Okay, so you can start your research. As I mentioned, you can upload your use that as your research tools, internalize through the 5 technique I share, understand and identify the research gap, and you can use the data to interpret. So back to this slide, your account may be suspended already. There's an email sent to your students' email saying that you are being subscribed to NotebookLM. You need to fulfill 4 activity, and then there's a one they attach with very nice infographic how to use NotebookLM. So from time to time, do check your student email. Maybe you get a notification saying that your account already suspended and it's no longer have access to the NotebookLM Enterprise on Seesaw AI. So please do check your student emails and then make sure every month you have 4 type of activity, 4 times activity, not 4 type. And then, like I mentioned, if you cannot access, there's a chance that the database do not include your student email, or there's a chance you already inactive for months. We already withdraw your account and give to the others. So please tell your deputy deans, and then also they will contact the Google AI champions, give your student ID, and then use the student ID to put into our dashboard so that you can access to the Seesaw AI, and you can start to we can monitor your research activation, and then if you are not activate, we will withdraw them. Okay, with that, I back to Q&A. Yeah, thank you so much.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Doctor. Wait. Thank you so much. So can we address the question in the chat box?
Boleh. So is the research done by NotebookLM? Is the search, if the search done by NotebookLM, will the search just available for open access? Yes. So the subscribe one you have to upload manually. Doctor, is it possible to transcribe any interviews? Yeah, you can. Yeah, I did that, and I share in SDS. We did that for minute tagging and so on. You can transcribe the interviews into the notebook. Okay, Doctor, can you show again? Where do we find the analyst button? Okay, Chong, let's go. Where to find the analyst button is go to your any notebook. If you haven't uploaded any document, this icon will not be available. You need to at least upload one document. Go to the slider icon here. From here, you can change analyst, guide, and custom. Custom, you can say that explain in 3 different levels. Explain as layman, followed by deeper explanation as in I'm a postgraduate student and then giving example. Guide is they will give you very easy answer, not easy answer, they will give you scaffolding and then ask you questions so that make sure you understand. Analyst is if you want to identify gap and so on, you can turn on the analyst. Right. So let's back to the questions. Will we get the recording? I think that is being answered in the previous chat. Will be on the YouTube. I might mislook the maximum number of article 300. if you're using NotebookLM Enterprise on Seesaw AI. What are the missing research gap derived from this study? Oh, thank you. Thank you for you copy the prompts here. Doctor, how students learn and improvise the prompting skills? It's based on your, because now so-called prompt is, they are more and more natural language oriented, means you can use your natural language to request. So be someone that you know what you want. So so-called prompting skill is you know what you want. Say I want it to be journal paper, then I will prompt it scholarly works. So even though you do not take some courses on what is prompt skill, but you know exactly what you want, that is good enough. You just use your natural language. Discover and analyze feature are for enterprise license. Hold on, yeah. Yes, it's only for enterprise license, not in the pro. Doctor, finding research get how many article I can upload? Is there any limitation? 300 is the 300. I think enterprise is the biggest account for. Usually normal account is 100, but enterprise Seesaw AI is 300. I'm using Pro account, but I don't see the discover button. You will have this functions called Pro account. You have a function of deep research. Maybe I share with you my Pro account. For Pro accounts, you have S sources, and from these S sources, you have this. Instead of discover resources, you will become fast and deep research. Search from your web or search from your Google Drive. Okay, so I think this is very good, very powerful function for Pro, but for normal account, for enterprise account, we do not have that. We have discover, and then for this discover, play around with the prompt, you will give you a good result. Okay, so let me continue the questions. Dr. Chong, every time the 10 sources added mean the best relevant resources. How? Yeah, they have algorithms. I shouldn't say it's the best because they omit out the subscribe ones, so I don't think it's the best, but is what they have some criteria to fulfill your requirement. Do I still need to cross-check the info generated from NotebookLM? Yes, you need to check back the citation. So from there, you know that it's actually getting from the journals. But usually it's source bound. So, but make it a be habits lah. I upload papers from Science Direct, but all fail. Yes, you need to upload the PDF. Okay, and then if the PD, I not sure whether you're having issues. In that case, you can try to add from your Google Drive. Hi, Doctor, please. Is the notebook our student same as Siswa, the one, and can image another but not used in the thesis? Okay. To answer you, right. Your Siswa AI using UPM account is the NotebookLM Enterprise. Okay. Can you use the image? It depends. Let's say you want to use the infographics. If you want to have an overview image, you need to declare. I think SGS now Arif kan ada AI declaration kan.
Yes.
You use that. If your examiner think it's not appropriate, you have to remove it. Discuss with your supervisor first. Hi doctor, boleh bagi prompt buat macam Shin-chan tak menarik? Oh, you just tell them, I want a Shin-chan's anime manga style on what topics. Okay, you can tell them others also. Okay, how do you make this slide? Very nice slide. How do I make the slide? Okay, yeah, it's ChatGPT. Right. Okay. Hi. Okay, this is e-certificate. Decoding. Can you get the guide? Yes, you can get the guide, and also we'll put them in micro-credential research methodology, one of the sub-modules. Just be sure any AI graphic cannot be included in publication, right? No, depends on AI policy of that papers. Like for example, some papers, they allow you to generate, some do not. Okay, they do have AI degradations. Like certain journal, they will have this AI degradation. You have used AI in what purpose you have to degrade it. Okay, transcribe my interviews or ini dah jawab. One person have two accounts. A special no. One person one account. You can create many notebook. Is there a normal and normal? Is that normal and enterprise using the same AI model or different model? Is that the normal and enterprise version work using the same AI model? Yeah, same AI models, but different policy. Like if you're using normal account, your data will be used for training. Is there a limitation of the limitation is 300 sources. Sometimes what I want to generate slide in or infographic, it will take some time. Sometimes up to 30 minutes. Why? Any tips make it faster? Dr. Siti Khadija, yeah. I think yes, that's an issue. It depends on our prompts and the complexity. If you you ask them focus on certain thing, simple one, and then another slide you ask them to focus on others, then it will be faster. Dr. Saida, will NotebookLM be able to do statistic analysis? No, it cannot. It can do very limited functions only. Don't use NotebookLM to do statistics. I think this is already answered. Sometimes the reference are cited article from the outlook that how to easily collect the information. Okay, how to orderly collect the reference without missing up. Collect the reference without missing up, and sometimes reference are cited as from the outlook. Yeah, if your source cited another info in that source, they will also use that info. So, but they'll give you that particular citation. I mean, that particular, like, let's say, journal A cites journal B, they'll give you journal B quotes. And also, there's a lot of third-party Chrome extension for you to sort. If you're using Pro account, they will sort for you. For third-party one, I cannot name them. Some of them are paid. They can actually help you to merge the notebook, or they can add tagging to your sources. Total slide infographic already generated by the data, not me follow our research. Modify the picture. Can we edit the slide infographic itself? Yeah, for this account, no. For this account, cannot. You need to just tell them in the customized function what you need to focus. Will rate ini dah jawab. But seems that NotebookLM is better. What you think for research? For research, yes, NotebookLM is better because it's source bound. But the NotebookLM do not have analysis. Yeah, do not. You only have you have to use enterprise. You can analyze another sharing section for ChatGPT. So saya Google ambassador. So yeah, for open setting, I would just talk about Google. But if you want to have ChatGPT, invite me not for open setting.
Gemini, Doktor? Gemini?
Ya, boleh. Tapi student tak ada Gemini Pro.
Oh, I see.
Ya, kita start je. Is NotebookLM in email still noble since I cannot activate NotebookLM in CISO AI? Is there? No. If you use normal emails, it will trend for model improvement. I would not recommend. Would you recommend Gemini or Gemini and NotebookLM is the same but different purpose? Gemini and NotebookLM using the same AI, but Gemini is web search and then listing them. NotebookLM is synthesized. So yeah. I think that should be it. All the questions, and yeah. Back to you, Arif. I think I answered all the questions already.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we came to another the end of our session for today. On behalf of School of Graduate Studies, I would like to thanks our esteemed speaker for today, Dr. Chong Chaubin, for sharing, I think, very thoughtful knowledge on LLM, notebook LM. So thank you so much for our participant. And surely, if we have another session on Gemini, or I will surely invite
Sure,
Dr.
sure.
for another session. So don't forget to fill up your
Attendance.
attendance and also your evaluation form. And also, Doctor, I will share to you also the evaluation form for this seminar. Okay.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Doctor.
so much, everyone.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Arif. Bye, everyone.
Bye.